All right guys, welcome back. This video is going to be single crochet only, okay? And before I dive into this, I want to tell you that it has been requested from some of my friends to go slower. They say that I go a little bit too fast. So if you're not one to hang back for an hour or two, no, this video is not going to be 2 hours. I promise you, it's not. It's not even going to be an hour, you know. Can't promise that it won't be longer than 30 minutes, but I will tell you this. It's going to be detailed instruction for those who need it. If you don't need it, feel free to skip around. Okay, so before we get into actually single crocheting, I'm going to tell you the tools that you need. One, you need a good crochet hook. The one that I'm using right now is size H or 5 millimeter. You also need obviously yarn, because how will you crochet without some sort of yarn? Okay, and we'll get into the different types of yarn in another time. Okay, so before we make this, we're going to have to do a slip knot. There's multiple ways to do a slip knot, but there are two ways that I'll show you in this video. The first of which is wrapping it around the thumb, okay? So you're going to take your tail. This is called a tail because there's no ending and it kind of hangs like a tail, right? You're going to take your tail and you're going to wrap it around your thumb 2 times. 1 and 2. Okay, we've wrapped it twice. And then you're going to take the back loop and you're going to move it over the front loop. Okay, don't move it all the way across, okay, because it's not going to be good for you. Then you're going to take this one, the one that was in the front, and now you're going to move this over your whole thumb. Tighten it, and there you go. You have a slip knot. I'll show you one more time. The way that I will be doing it in the rest of my videos, because this is how my mother taught me, I'm going to do the lasso way. I think I'm going to give it that name, the lasso, because, you know, yeehaw. Okay. Yes, I am a native Texan. Woo. Okay, so anyway, you're going to take both the tail and the feeding yarn. We call it feeding because it feeds from the yarn skein. Okay. So you're going to take the tail and the feeding yarn in one hand, okay, leaving a little lasso. You're going to put your thumb in the middle like this, okay? Then you're going to form an X. You see that? You move from here to an X. I'm going to take my index finger and my thumb and put it through the loop. And this is how you determine which of the strings you're going to pull through. Always pull the one that's under the X, okay? If you try to pull the one on top of the X, you're going to get very frustrated, okay? So once you form that X and you put your index and your thumb through, you're going to grab the one that's under this, okay? So you're going to pull this, let this drop, and you're going to pull that loop through. And that is your slip knot. is your slip knot. Okay, now we're ready to make our single crochets. So we're going to take our hook, put it through the loop like this, and you're going to take both sides and you're going to pull it like so. Okay, this next part of the video, I'm going to zoom it on in. Okay, so we're going to get up close and personal. All right, now the tail for this style of single crochet is just going to stay over here. You're going to ignore it. With the feeding yarn, we're going to keep it in our other hand so we can feed it to our project. Everybody has a different way of holding this. Whichever way is most comfortable for you is the right way for you. For me, I like to take my yarn, wrap it once around my pinky, let it go underneath the next two fingers and over my index finger, okay? And then some people like to do this extra step and wrap it around there. And that's because sometimes the yarn is loose or too smooth. This was a little rough, so I can just leave it like that. The next important thing is always keep your hand at this knot, and as you crochet, you're gonna move it, okay? Because it keeps more control. The next step is called yarning over. We're gonna take this hook and move it under here, yarn over, okay? See that simple maneuver? Yarn over. And then you're going to put your hook down. This part of the crochet hook is called the nose. You're gonna put the nose down, and look at that. When you move the nose, that yarn's gonna go with it. Okay, with these fingers, you're gonna pull down on that knot to make it easier for the hook to go through, and you're gonna pull that through. Okay, I'll do it one more time. Yarn over, turn the nose down, and pull through. Yarn over, nose down, pull through. We are making chains. Okay, we're gonna do it twice more. Now, how did I know that I needed 5? Or how do I even know that I have 5? 5 chains, that is. Before we take the hook out, make sure you put some slack in it so you don't accidentally undo your progress. And this is where I tell you what a stitch is. Okay, this is for beginner crocheters. Whenever crocheters are instructing you on projects, they tell you how many stitches you need to do, or in this case, how many chains you need to do. A chain makes the letter V. Do you see that letter V right there? Okay, it makes the letter V. So we're going to count how many V's or chains or stitches we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we have 5 chains. I need to make 10 to make this size of a swatch, okay? So we're gonna put that back in there. I'm gonna pull it back to make sure it gets back on my hook. And we're gonna continue. And this time I'm gonna go a little faster, but I think you can do it. If you need me to wait for you, just pause the video, okay? So here we go, I'm gonna make 5, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now I have a chain of 10. All right. Before we go to the second row, one important step that often a lot of beginner crocheters forget is to chain 1. Okay. What that means is you want your sides to be straight, okay? So with every row, you always chain one because you want to make it straight. That's something that I had to learn on my own as I was learning how to crochet, because the side would end up going this way or end up becoming a pyramid. So whenever you chain one, that helps you have straight sides, okay? So now you're going to chain one. Actually, I already did that. So chain one, and now we get to go this way. In the next stitch, depending on how you want your project to look, you can choose to go into this loop, or you can choose to go in the back, which makes it a lot neater. So let me show you this. This is the top, and this is the bottom, okay? Do you see how identical they look? To achieve this style, you'll have to go through the back. Some crocheters just don't care, and that's up to you. If you want to take it where you're going in through this way, then you can do that. But let me show you what going through the loop this way looks like. So when you go in, you're not going to go in that chain that you just made. You're going to go in the next one, okay? You're going to go in under like this, take the yarn and pull up. Notice that I had my finger on this the whole time because it keeps it in place, okay? If I didn't, it might stay in place too, but for me, I feel comfortable knowing that this is not going to go anywhere. So you're going to pull the yarn through here. You can either do it this way. Some people do it this way, okay? It does make a different look, believe it or not, but in this case, we're only worried about making the single crochet. Okay, you're gonna have 2 loops on your hook. You don't wanna bring it all the way through because that's a slip stitch. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through both of them. And I'm going to pull some slack on this so I can show you. Okay, just before I do another row, to show you what the second row looks like, I want to count my stitches to make sure I have 10. Ready? Look at those V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have all 10 stitches. Okay? Let me show you what this looks like on the bottom. Do you see how it's kind of like not the same as what I showed you before? Okay? Look at the difference. You have these very well defined stitches, and then you have these, okay? Not to say that it's wrong. It isn't wrong, but when you do finish a project, let's say that you're making a coaster, there's gonna be a space right there, okay? There's gonna be a space. So if you don't like that space, I'm gonna cut this off and I'm gonna go ahead and do it the other way, okay? So let me just take my scissors, take my scissors, cut that off. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave this right up here, actually out of the screen, because I'll just bring it in the next time. All right, this second way to single crochet is one that I will use 90% of the time. There are occasions where you do crochet like this, okay? But I leave it for those occasions. For everything else, I use it this way. With this next step, not next step, but this next way of crocheting, you actually have to predict how much yarn you need for your foundation row. The foundation row is the very first row. It's the foundation. Every home, every building has a foundation. And if you have a strong foundation, that building will be up for years, okay? Same with crocheting. If you have a strong foundation, this project is gonna last, as long as possible. For this one, I'm gonna pull just a little longer. Okay, I don't need that much for 10. And then I'm gonna make my slip knot. Remember how I told y'all this is the one that I prefer? That's the one, you see? That's how I do it. And then I'll put my crochet hook in. I'm going to tighten it up, making sure it's nice and loose. I'm gonna set up my hand on the other side. And this time, instead of yarning over this way, I'm going to actually use my tail. The tail is not going to sit idly this time. The tail is actually going to be involved in creating the foundation. This may be called a different name, but I'm going to call it this. It's called the vertical foundation, okay? Vertical single crochet. All right, so I will take this, I will wrap it around, and I'm going to hold this knot, just like we did with the other one. But this time, holding this knot will actually help make the single crochet. Okay, not like the other one didn't, but you know what I mean. So you're going to yarn over and pull through 2, okay? And then I'm just gonna keep going like this. Yarn over. In the very beginning, it seems kind of tedious to do this, but once you get used to it, you tend to do it a lot faster, okay? So I did how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 6 more. Do that. Okay, let's double check the stitches. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I want to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Okay. Now you see, it actually looks like a box. Like on all sides, it has the same look almost. Okay. Now, yes, you do have a long tail still, but here's the other beauty of this way of crocheting. Okay. We're going to make one more chain. Okay. That's that chain 1. Okay. And then I'm going to go in, and it looks like I'm going to the side, but I'm really just doing it the same way as I would this one. Okay. I'm going to go in right here. And I'm going to take my tail and lay it right here because I like to hide my tails as I'm doing my project so I don't have to come back and do it, okay? This one, you have to come back and hide the tail. This one, you can hide it as you go. You can hide this as you go too, but sometimes it's more challenging. So here we go. I'm going to pull this through, okay, just like we did with the other one. Yarn over, pull through. Go into the next one. Pull up, yarn over, pull through. Okay, go in through here, yarn up. Okay, we're on the last one. Pull up, and let me do this so I can show you what this looks like. And look, right on this end is a little rounded. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna pull it, and then it'll straighten it up. Okay, it looks curved right now, but on the third row, it's gonna straighten right up, okay? All right, so look at that on the bottom. All right, do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? This is the bottom of the other one. This is the bottom of the newer way that I've started doing it. And I love it. I've been crocheting for over 20 years and I still learn things. You know, younger crocheters, even new crocheters teach me a thing or two, okay? So, there we go. That's the beauty of a crocheter or crocheting, is that no matter what your skill level is, you can still teach people stuff, okay? Because newer crocheters find simpler ways to do things that we veteran crocheters are like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. And then we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I love my new crocheters because they teach me how to teach other people. But anyway, so you see how this one is like a single-ish, you know, a single stitch, and then this one is like, it's actual single crochet stitches. All right, now we're gonna go into row number 2, and pretty much the name of the game. Oh, and here's another thing. You can actually cut this. So let me go. Okay, so I pull. Don't pull with all your might because then it's gonna scrunch your project up. But just pull enough to where it kind of straightens up the other side. And then be careful, but make sure you cut the right one. This is my tail. Okay, I'm cutting my tail. So I'm gonna cut it as close as possible. There we go. Take that out of the picture. Okay, and now I'm ready to continue. All right, what do we do before we continue other rows? We have to what? Chain 1 and then turn. From here on out, it's easy free sailing. You just need to go into this part, which is the very first stitch that you made, okay, under those two, pull up, yarn over, and pull through. And the next one, go under those 2 stitches, well, not 2 stitches, but those 2 loops, pull up, you have 2 loops here, and pull through. Okay, we get to that last one. Okay, let me make sure I have 10. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent, yay. Let me do one more row because 3 is the magic number. Okay, go like this. Turn over, go through that first stitch, pull up, go like that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Pull up, and for kicks and giggles, do 2 rows for me. We can do 2 rows, right? So I'll be back. You do 2 rows and then we'll compare, okay? Ready, go. Okay, I did 2 more rows. Look at that. we made a little something something, okay? And then I'm just gonna end it right here, but this could continue on to be anything else. I'm gonna take my scissors. This is just a swatch, okay? And then we'll pull that through. Okay, and look at that. Look at that. And then I'm gonna put this down right here. Do you see how straight the sides are? Okay, that side, you see how it's straightened up? All right, and this is why we do the chain one, so that all the sides look like this. Okay, so you see the difference between these two? Not saying that this is wrong, but I prefer this one because it looks cleaner to me. Okay, and that is it for the single crochet instructional video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or you need help or just have a comment to let me know what you liked about it or something that you'd like to see in the video, please leave it in the comments below. Please subscribe if you have not already to my channel. It really helps let me know that people are actually watching my videos. Also, please click the notification bell so that you know each and every time I send out a video. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, or whatever time of day it is for you. Ciao.